I actually was finishing high school, graduated from Vallejo, California, and I was on a bus leaving school, and I saw a certified nursing assistant program and a building, and so I reached out to my dad and reached out to the program, and I enrolled in a CNA program at technically 17 years old, and started working my first job at 18 at Queen of the Valley Hospital. So that was really the beginning of caregiving for me. Was just kind of really taking the first step in my career path after high school, wanting to help individuals, and investing first into the first step was CNA. It was an interesting transition. I started at Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa. I was attending junior college and just balancing both, staying with my parents, allowing me to kind of just gather myself as an adult, develop. I worked part-time, and I really began to just engage with the human experience, I call it, really connecting with individuals and meeting their needs with activities of daily living and going to school. And I was on this path to become a nurse, and things just began to really transition. I began to meet other individuals who were focusing on the pulmonary system, and I met a couple of respiratory therapists, and I was introduced to that field and enrolled and went to Napa Valley College, received my associates in respiratory therapy, and 2 weeks later I was starting at UCSF Medical Center in San Francisco. I was very, very young, 23 years old, starting my career within the nation top 10 hospital. And I was very young, commuting, gathering myself, but I was receiving a lot of great experiences professionally, where I began to really develop as a young woman, as a professional. So it was a great path, and I've grown within that. I've been practicing respiratory therapy since 2007, and now have transitioned to clinical education, and now embarking on entrepreneurship as a RCFE administrator, or what we would say a residential care facility for the elderly. The transition from healthcare as a leader within education, prior management at Kaiser. I've worked, as you said, in a lot of facilities, UCSF Medical Center, the Kaiser Permanente system, Children's Oakland, and now at Stanford as a clinical educator, which was really just the ultimate goal. So I thought I began to really kind of dig deep as a person and really kind of look at my values, look at where my heart was leading me, and really begin to look outside of healthcare. I think it was such a great foundation to myself as a young woman, as a professional. Those companies invested so much into me, so much grace and experience, and now I feel really equipped to really create the culture of caring, compassion, grace within a business, to where I'm still within the community, I'm still serving the general public, but it's a more intimate setting. To where now I can meet individuals in their season of life where they need a resource, and they need a facility to provide them area of care. And so it's still going to be an extension of myself, but just in a different capacity, less clinical. And I worked a lot in the ICU, intensive care unit, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I love it. But now I'm transitioning. I feel like it's a great transition to extend my compassion and care into a different demographic. I think I saw a lot of great things. I met a lot of individuals. I met a demographic that was in need. I met a demographic that was transitioning and needing a different level of support. And I worked in two settings. I worked within a hospital acute care setting, and I also worked in what we would call a convalescent home or skilled nursing facility. And they both offered different experiences for me, to where within the convalescent skilled nursing facility, you saw a large group of individuals who were kind of being served by just a small demographic of professionals, and it became overwhelming. And at times you can see resources are depleted or small. Sometimes you see individuals are depleted and small, but yet there's also an intimacy to where you're coming to work and you're seeing the same individual, which is actually rewarding to be a part of their life. Within an acute care facility, as a CNA, the relationships were a little shortened depending on their course, but it was still meeting their needs, maybe after surgery or a sickness or a different feeling, but still the same interaction to where you're trying to just bridge their needs physically and even emotionally and spiritually. It takes a team. And so you can see both of that. And I want to really bring that to the care home I'm building. I would like to bring the same connection to make sure that the individual's needs are met. And having experience as a respiratory therapist in the clinical setting, I have an eye that may be a little bit different from other facilities and owners based on just working with all generations and demographics and just really seeing the stages of life that they're at and having an eye for some of the medical conditions. That's really what I want to focus on, is making sure they know that they're trusting and trusting themselves with me to be an advocate for this season of their life. An area of focus that I would like to allow families to know is that there's going to be a level of respect. That is something that has been a part of my core foundation. Respect with individuals that I've never met before. This is their first time, and I've met thousands of individuals within California and some out of the state. And the first line of communication is respect, professional integrity, abiding by the laws and abiding by the ethics of the profession that you have. That was something that was embedded in my career. So I first, want individuals to know that there's a level of integrity that I have from a professional as a respiratory therapist, and now transitioning to an RCFE administrator. It is very important to me, and as an educator in respiratory therapy, I hold the same standard for the staff that I train and develop. It's very important for individuals to know the foundation of respect, integrity, and staying aligned with clinical and best practices. Those type of things are just embedded in the core. And then transitioning to a residential facility that can't enter in, but then adding the personable relationship to where there is an engagement that they can feel at home. I want individuals to walk in and know that this is their home. This is their families invited to engage with them, and that because of the years of experience I have as a healthcare professional, I've seen a lot of individuals in the profession, and I have an eye for individuals. I would say I have an eye for the integrity that you can see, the professionalism. And so I've been a part of hiring and behavior-based interviews. And so these experiences from my past corporate hospital setting is really going to allow me to create an environment that is safe. I want individuals to feel safe. I want them to feel engaged. And I want them to know that I'm an advocate for whatever transition they have in their life. And so that's, really what we're focusing here. An employee at Graceful Living is a team. That is something that I want the members, whatever capacity or whatever area they may work in, that they are part of a team. No one's bigger than anyone else, and that there's communication. That's vital within a team, and that they are valued. And so that is one aspect. And also mentorship. I think working as a healthcare professional and maybe being in their shoes, some of them may be younger or whatever, age they may be at, to where they may find themselves here, to know that there is support for the next stage of their profession, if that's what they choose. And so I have a lot of experience of developing therapists in the beginning of their career. And I feel that even life skills, engaging with some of, areas of cleaning and sanitation, different things that you can take and build into your personal life and even to your profession. So team meetings and communication, accountability, making sure that, we're having a constant dialogue about the development of the, business and also the residents. How are they doing? And so that is something is that I want them to know that they're a part of me and the residents, and we are a team. My faith has been everything to me. It has been the core of my development. As a young woman And it was something that the faith and the community that I'm a part of has invested in awareness and care and teachings of the Christian faith that I, follow. It has also brought about a sense of community and taking care of those within that community and that faith, being other-centered. It has grounded me in all the decisions of my life to where I have a source and connection to the community, the Word of God, Spirit that we're connected with. God has really given me stability and a foundation and has allowed me to learn how to make decisions, trusting God with that relationship and each stage of my life, from going from a CNA, thinking I'm going to be a nurse, and now I'm transitioning to respiratory and feeling that, maybe one job, one door closed, and now trusting God that He opened another door, and how many opportunities have opened with that door. And it may be a little fear, but trusting God is definitely an experience that I have developed through my faith. And also realizing that you have to have a consistent effort of discipline and responsibility and accountability to grow with your decisions as you develop, So that's been a great. I truly care. I have been in really good experiences with individuals to where I may have been the last person they've seen, and my profession has allowed me to engage with individuals in stages of life that were difficult. And sometimes family, mothers, fathers, children were unable to be there, and being a bedside clinician really allowed me to almost take their place and let them know that they're safe, especially during the pandemic. But I was practicing that level of care really my whole career. It's been developing, and so it's a part of me. It's almost, I'm unable not to care. When I'm aware, I am unable not to care. It's a level of responsibility to fulfill the best outcome and support the best outcome for that family member and the resident, to make sure that they feel safe in whatever stage they are in, and care.